Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 50. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2014, and I'm Holly. So, yes, it's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday, and I'm at home. It's because I'm on vacation. Woot! Yes, Highlands on the Fly is this week, and I'll talk more about that in the What's Making Me Happy, but I decided to take today off just to pack because I haven't packed yet, and yeah. So I hope you guys have had a great week since I last
I
talked to
have had a
you. Super busy week, but that's kind of to be expected with the whole having to get everything done before you go. And I'm sure if there's something that I forgot to do, I'm sure somewhere. I'm hoping I didn't. I'm hoping I don't hear from anybody today from work. I will have my work phone on me. I will not be checking it as frequently, but I will check it today. I'll check actually my work email, make sure everything's squared away. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. So I hope you guys have had a much less stressful week. Um, so let's go ahead and get started with the current roster. Really, the July Saki socks, I didn't bring them inside. They're in my car on the passenger seat because, well, I just couldn't be bothered to bring them inside last night. I thought about it briefly and then left them out there, and I can't be bothered to go out right now. So they are probably an inch longer than you last saw them, something like that. Not to the heel yet. I've still got about an inch and a half, 2 inches left before I can get to the heel. And hopefully I will have those done by the time my next podcast because I've got a long road trip coming up. Also, what's on the current roster? Sorry, I need to take something off of something else. I have got the August Saki socks. So these are the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. Focus on them. Of course it's not. So the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern, and this is just the ribbing. I'm 5 rows into 20 rows of ribbing on the pattern in the merino nylon blend from CJ Knit, and in her 12th Doctor colorway, which means that since I've only got a cuff, I finished one. I know. Now, this is making this a lot more blue than it is. It's like blues and greens and purples and oh. So the first sock is done. It fits like a dream. I made very few modifications to the pattern. Um, the pattern is well written. I believe it's by Erica Luter. I believe. But the pattern is well written. There's a lot of rib up here at the top. I did that to pattern. And then I just kept knitting in pattern. And let's see if we can get that to focus. You can kind of see. It's got this beautiful, beautiful texture with an eye of partridge heel flap. And I love the garter stitch edging on the heel flap because it makes it so easy to pick up for your gusset. And yeah, just knit that down. The only modification that I made was that I knit the foot a little longer and did my preferred toe, which is a 2-1 toe, so 2 decreases to 1 knit plain round. And that seems to have come out nicely. And it fits like, oh, it fits like a dream. So yay! There's that. This one's getting started. Hopefully I'll be able to knock out a lot of work on the trip on this as well. So there's that. So that's all that's currently on the roster. I will probably bring my Vivid Squares back off of reserve so that way I can work on those. I've been thinking about what I want to take with me project-wise, and I'll definitely take the socks, but those probably last the um won't last the car trip or car trips. So I don't know. I don't know if I should bring another sock or work on actually just cast on the hat that I have on in my head. I've got like a design going on in my head and I need to see if it's actually going to work, and I might just need to cast it on and just suck it up and go. So we'll see about that. If that works, it's going to be a takeoff on the sock head hat. We'll see. Um, or maybe I'll just throw a pair of mitts on, fingerless mitts on the needles and just, yeah. Plus, I'm gonna have a lot of spinning with. I don't know. So anyway, so anyway, um, so that brings us to the alumni roster. I was a busy bee this weekend. I got that sock done so that way I had a hoe. And I might have finished a little something something that you saw on the last couple of podcasts. Yep, I finished this hat. It is the Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits. Oh wow, that's just kind of tragic right there. The Barley Hat by Tin Can Knits, and it is part of their Simple Knits collection, I believe it is. They've got a collection of free patterns that are great for beginning knitters and are just really quick knits. So this is actually a great hat for, I'm just twirling this around and around. It's a great hat for a newer knitter because you're learning a lot of new skills. You're learning, in addition to how to join and knit in the round, you're learning rib in the round, and you're learning how to do garter stitch in the round, which doesn't seem like it's really hard thing. But for a newer knitter, it's hard to wrap your head around it, especially if you just came out of a beginning class and you know that garter is knit every single row. And when it comes to in the round, everything's backwards. So it's a great way to introduce that, plus introducing decreases. This hat went really, really quickly for me when I worked on it. I did put it down in favor of a couple of other things for a little while, but when I worked on it, it went really quickly. The yarn is, I should probably hold this up again. The yarn is Highland Handmaids. It is, I believe it's the white ash worsted. It's Heather's Merino Bamboo blend, and it's 60 Merino, 40 Bamboo in the In Search of Dragons colorway. And it's doing this, the way that it was dyed and the magic numbers and how everything worked out is that it created this spirally stripe, which I love. So yay! I will definitely be knitting this hat again, probably out of a different kind of yarn so it's not nearly as drapey. I wanted it to be nice and slouchy. I knew it was going to be drapey, and it's warm, which is nice. I wore it all day yesterday at the office because, well, it's cold in my office. Yep, it's cold in my office, and yeah. And I don't know how people can actually wear their hats back where they don't cover their ears and keep them on their heads, because every time I do that, it falls off. So maybe it's the way that my head's shaped. I don't know, but I like it like this. You can kind of see that it's got a little slouch there. So yeah. So I'm not even going to pretend. I took a picture of this, put it on Instagram, a very bad picture of this before it was washed and blocked. Hiro is officially done as I back up, and get on my tiptoes. Hiro grew, but I love it. So yes, Hiro, she's done. And now as I move back and you can see the color work, yeah. So this is Hiro. It is by Julia Farwell Clay. I knit this out of Mad Tosh Vintage, which is a superwash yarn, which is both a blessing and a curse. In the, I'm just going to point, antique lace. So that's this main body color. The greens that's the Grey Garden colorway. The brown is bark, and the red is Robin Redbreast. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a really super close-up boob shot, sorry. And it's kind of washing out some of the greens, but you can kind of see that the green is more of a tonal variegated. And that's coming out a lot grayer and a lot more kind of blue, but it really is a green. And it's wonderful. It's comfy. It's slightly big. It fit perfectly like a dream when I took it out, when I took it off the needles on Sunday. And I gave it a bath and it grew, which superwash yarns are wont to do. So yeah, it's grown about an inch all over. I might try to put it in the dryer to tighten it up a little bit, maybe shrink it up a little bit. But yeah, so we'll see. Gotta make that decision sooner rather than later. But I love it. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's fine. So yay! I used, again, by my count, I used 5 colors of the main color, a little over one of the contrast color 1, and that's because I made a few modifications to this pattern. The pattern is written for a turned hem and no color work at the bottom. Well, I've taken Amy Herzog's Fit to Flatter class, and one of the things is I got a bust. I got some girls. So I knew that having a lot of color work up here might be a little distracting if I had nothing at the bottom. But I wasn't sure if this would have even looked good on me. So that's where Ravelry's function to be able to look at people's projects is awesome. But also podcasts are awesome because when a lot of people are knitting something, you can see a lot of different body types. And I was on the fence about this for the longest time until I saw, you don't call me Leslie from the Knit Girls, I saw hers. Leslie and I have similar body types, which is really nice. It's nice to know that an online friend has that same. And she knit the cardigan version of it, I believe. And she looks fabulous in it. And so that's really what got me seriously thinking about it. And then I started thinking about colors and then I cast on. So one of the modifications I made was I immediately started off with a 1x1 rib. And if I were to do it again, I would have done a 2x2. But a 1x1 rib, and I added the color work from the sleeves to the bottom. That, I think, has made a world of difference in just balancing me out. And I probably would have put it down a lot sooner than I had if I didn't have that color work. Because while the antique lace is beautiful and is a great neutral, it was really boring to knit. So once I got through all of the decreases and increases in the body, I just kind of stopped. I put it down, put it away. Weather was getting warmer, so, it was always there. I remembered that I had it, but I kind of forgot about it until I had to move things around in my bedroom for my new bed, and then I found it, and I looked at it and went, that would be really nice to finish this year and wear to Highlands on the fly, and to have a new sweater. So I hung it on a dresser drawer so that way it was within reach, and when I got the urge to do it and pick it up again, I did. So I flew through, once I did that, I flew through the rest of the body. I just kind of sat down with some podcasts that I hadn't watched in a while, and I just kept knitting. and I flew through the rest of the body. I added a little bit of length on the body than the pattern calls for in my size. And that's because I have a longer torso than I used to think. And now, of course, this has grown a little bit longer. I'll get over that. And then once I did that and I cast on the sleeves flew. Sorry, I'm just kind of fidgeting with the hat now, and I'm going to take that off because really, it's warm in here. The sleeves flew. Sorry about that beeping. And then I got into the color work. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that you got almost daily updates of where I was in the color work. The color work probably took me 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, just because I was working on it in short bursts at the end of days. If I had just kind of sat down and done the color work from beginning to end, I probably could have gotten it done in like a day or two. But then I wouldn't have been able to work. So it was really, really awesome when I bound off the last stitch on the collar and I immediately tried it on before grafting in the ends. Oh, I see an end that's poking through here. I'll fix that. Fix that later. So yeah, after I grafted and everything, I loved it. I took a picture of it once everything was done and before the wash on Sunday and posted it to Instagram, and I heart you guys. Thank you for all the love on that. I am so super proud of it. One of the reasons that I'm really super proud that I did this and I love this so much is because while I've done color work before, I've done them on accessories. I did, years ago, I did an Argyle, like in big, like, so I did intarsia on the front of a vest, which I was also really proud about. But I've never really done stranded color work in a garment. I know, right? But I did that, and I'm really proud of it. While I'm frustrated at the fact that the wash and block made this a little bigger, and I should have remembered that when I was knitting it, and remembering that I was knitting with superwash yarn and it tends to want to grow. And my swatch had been so long since I'd actually washed and blocked my swatch. I forgot about that. Oops. So even though it's still awesome and cozy and comfy, and I'm proud of myself for doing it and for finishing it. And now I need to get some more sweaters on the needles and off the needles and stash bust a little bit as yeah. But yeah, so Hiro, she's done. It's awesome. She's cozy. I'm happy. So yay. So that's the alumni roster. A few other things that I could technically add. I mean, I've shown these all to you, but I haven't shown them to you since they've been off the needles. So one of the things that I want to do is I wanted to take my spinning wheel with me when we go north, which is going to happen. But I had things that were on the bobbins. So I finally went ahead and skeined these up and gave them a nice wash. So you haven't seen this one in a while. This was actually technically not on a bobbin. It was just skeined up really quickly and thrown in a drawer. So I actually skeined this up. This is Knitter's Nightmare in the Berlin colorway. I want to say it's the Polworth. I don't remember offhand. I can look in my PayPal receipts though and find out. And this is approximately 164 yards, although I think that's off, but I don't know. And I really haven't measured like how thick the yarn actually is. I'd say it's probably like a DK to worsted. Like it's definitely a thick and thin. This is chain plied. And yeah, it's pretty and lovely, and yeah, it will be something. Now, actually, I'll go this one. This is Gourmet Stash in her Tribbles, and this is 6 ounces of the Undisclosed Emerald Desires colorway. And according to my count, it's about 270 yards of a traditional 3-ply. I don't know if that's right. It seems like it should be more. My math could be wrong on that. It seems like it's a nice heavy skein. But I'm really, really proud of this because I taught myself how to do a traditional 3-ply on this. I really got to play with a lot of fibers in here that I hadn't worked with before, so I got to learn a lot about tensioning. So this is lovely. It smells so good. And then finally, this. And this is washing out. This is a beautiful, beautiful lilac. It's like, it's coming out really blue. That should be like really warm. But this is a lilac-y purple, and this is from Never Enough Time in the Wildflowers colorway. And this is 190.5 yards approximately of a 2-ply. And this was important for me to get off the bobbin, because I really, really wanted to, have something off the bobbin, but also I got this bat. I won this bat at Highlands on the Fly last year. So I wanted to make sure that I had this done and ready to go this year. So it's beautiful. It's a thick and thin, definitely. It was my first time doing like a bat from beginning to end that wasn't prepped like loop bats. I have bats. They're pretty. But this is my first time where I was able to play around with a lot of the different techniques for bats, for spinning bats. So yeah. These are all washed and dried. They hung outside to dry Sunday night and into Monday evening. I managed to get them in just before some rain hit us last night, so that was good. That was great timing. So there is that. I'll count them as alumni. You know, they've been done for a while. They're just finally off the bobbins, so I can have those bobbins back. So yeah, that's going to take us to what's making me happy this week. Well, duh. Highlands on the Fly is this week. I am on vacation, and I am taking my vacation to go up to Maine. Michelle and I are driving up tomorrow. We're picking up the car today, packing it up. So I do need to actually get to packing. But we're picking up the car today, driving up tomorrow. We've got a few field trips planned. I know I talked about this the last time I recorded, but we are planning on stopping at Hyde Park because we both really, we want to take a tour of the grounds. We both were really affected by the Ken Burns, documentary on the Roosevelts. So, yay! So we are going to try to hit Webb's on the way into Boston. We'll see how that works. We will see how that works. And then we will be in Boston for the night. And then we will drive up to Maine the next day. So Thursday, we will start off in Boston. We are planning on getting into Maine. We want to get there before sunset. So, yeah. And then I get to see all the peoples. Oh my God, this is the greatest group of women that you can meet. I am so glad that I can call them my friends. And if this is your first time going, you will absolutely be a friend by the end of the weekend, because really we all meshed together really well and just hung out and chatted. I mean, like the first night I remember last year, I have a tendency to be shy in real life situations. And so I was a little quiet, and then actually Christine, Pat's hi love. She actually broke the ice, and she was just like, "Are you? I was like, yes. And then all of a sudden I felt comfortable, and yeah. So if this is your first year going, you will feel the same. I promise it. You'll have the best time. Um, I am looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to being not reachable from work. I have told people that they will not reach me. It's just not happening. Yeah. So this is going to be fun. We'll be driving back Sunday. I think that we're going to go ahead and just stop somewhere Sunday. I mean, it's doable in a day with two drivers, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to stop somewhere on Sunday and then continue on home on Monday. And then I gave myself next Tuesday off so that way I can unpack. I'm going to spend today what time I have before we pick up the car packing. Then I need to clean out part of my car so that way I can take Michelle to get the car, and yeah, pack up the car, pack up the rental, and then just, yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Now I have no clue what I'm taking though. Like, yes, because we're driving, the tendency is to overpack, and we know that that's going to happen. So I know that I'm going to be taking, hand knits out the wazoo. I know that I will be taking some spinning. I will be taking some fiber to spin. I will be taking some yarn probably to work on. But what am I going to do with it? I think that, yeah, I'll probably go ahead and try and cast on for that hat that I was talking about. But, and I've been debating with myself, do I want to take a sweater up with me or not? And I'm leaning towards not. And the only reason I'm leaning towards not is because I remember that I thought that I'd have a whole lot of time to knit last year, and I did have a lot of time to knit. But really, I wanted to socialize, and the socialization was awesome. You get to sit down and chat. So I know that I'm going to want something easy to work on when I do that. So I'm going to probably leave anything complicated at home. I might try and we'll see. I might try and pull one of my shawls that's been stalled and take that. We'll see. No, no, Ellie, it's not Celestarium. I am not taking beading with me. I know that you got excited about that. I know you. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Which brings us to ask me anything question. So Angie Ship, who is Andrea from Ontario, posted on the Ask Me Anything thread, and she has an agree. Would you ever do a short podcast from the Highlands on the Fly retreat and maybe have Traveling Knitter as a special co-host? The answer to that is I don't know. Right now, what we're thinking about doing is doing like a little travel special. So while we're going up, taking a few videos on our phones and posting those. Probably to YouTube. I will probably put them together and put them up on in a file and put them up on iTunes at some point. But probably we'll do that. So that's as far as we've gotten. We might try. Hell, I might try to record, and I might try and corral other people in. We'll see. I remember I wanted to do that last time, and I just got so distracted by all the fun things to do. So I make no promises, but that's what we're hoping to do right now. Because I really do want to show you guys some of the beauty that's up there. And I know that those of you who watch Katie Knitting on the Fly, and Heather at the Fiberista Files, and Sarah, who is a Fiber Track, I know you guys see this in their podcasts. They do have videos occasionally of like just the beauty of where they're at. But I might do that just to kind of give everybody else a taste. So anyway, I'm going to stop blathering on right now because I need to pack. Holy mo, I need to pack. Anyway, so I will see you next week and have a great week, everybody. Keep spinning, knitting, stitching, and crocheting on. Bye.